Good morning. Hi. Welcome. Happy Meditation Monday, my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful friends. Hope you're having a wonderful morning or evening or whatever time zone you may be watching this in. It's been a crazy couple of days for me, and it just goes to show how much literally meditation can turn your entire life upside down if you let her. So, I never really have anything planned, honestly. I kind of just let the universe decide for me what kind of stuff needs to come up and show up during this time. And so I've been educating myself a lot on, what's going on in the world. Not so much of what the media is trying to feed to you, obviously, because it's false information and it's tainted, but actually, listening to spiritual teachers and what their perception of what's going on in the world right now and how it's affecting us and how we can be an active participant in the manifestation of the new earth. So it's super, super exciting. And I just felt when I first woke up today, honestly, I just had this intuition that I need to share a little bit of information of how important it is and how powerful we really, really are individually. I feel like a lot of people really do believe that they have no power in the collective of the world, which is so not true. If you're in your power, you are literally more powerful than thousands of other people who aren't. It's crazy, but it's true. And so I really want to today just kind of emphasize the importance of us really taking this time to care about nothing more than taking care of ourselves and making sure that we are the best versions of ourselves so that we come into whatever kind of future we're headed to with fresh eyes and with something that's actually going to be of service to others in the future, right? So, as you know, some of you, if you know me personally, I'm obsessed with Teal Swan. She is God, basically. That can't even, act like it's not true. But I've been watching a lot of her videos, and she talks, especially now, she's really posting a lot of content on how right now is the time to become, as she says, the antidote. And that was the first word that really popped into my head when I first woke up, is just, it's time to become the antidote. Which means there's a collective disease, a worldwide disease happening in humanity right now, and it is the disease of fear. It's the disease of choosing with our free will to limit ourselves and pinch ourselves off from our natural abundance and peace of mind, because when we're in fear, we're so easy to be controlled. It's so easy to, when you are in a state of fear, you don't feel any type of safety and security, and so that's kind of what you're going to be grabbing for, some kind of peace of mind. I want comfort. I want to feel comforted. And the way that this government works, they're like, perfect, exactly. I'll give you that comfort just under one condition. It's like that Ursula, you think about poor unfortunate souls in pain, in need. And she's like, I'll give you what you want in exchange for your voice, your free will to speak, your free will to express yourself. I'll give you freedom as long as I have complete rights over you, and you can't say or do anything without my permission. Comfort sounds nice, doesn't it? So, it's very, very thick. Fear is a very real experience, and you don't want to deminimize it by just saying, just stop doing it. It's not that easy. It's getting to the root of it, and instead of choosing that comfort, going into your fear and seeing it for what it really is. And seeing the truth behind it and owning it. And therefore, once that is the case, you don't have anybody else outside of you who has anything. They can't harm you in any way because they don't have anything against you. They're not controlling you. They can't control you. And that's what they don't want. If you're in your power, you can't be controlled. If you are in a space of love, if you're making decisions and thinking thoughts and having experiences, and they're all from the core of your heart, and they're all just completely authentic, genuine, from love. Like you're taking an action out of love. That is the most powerful thing that you can do, literally. And it can't be controlled, because love cannot be controlled at all. So, thank you. I do not. But that's okay. You guys don't need to watch me. Just listen. So, with this, it's very, very important. This time in humanity, like I truly believe, like I didn't really believe this even just a week ago, but I truly believe right here and now that this is the most important time in humanity to be alive. Yeah, I truly believe that. And because we are experiencing a transformative shift in humanity worldwide like we have never seen. The government is collapsing. The matrix is collapsing. And people who stay stuck in fear, they're not going to be healthy enough or strong enough to even survive in the way that this new way of Earth is being cultivated, because it's not going to be like the way society has ever worked before. Ever. Like, you need to get out of your head whatever your idea of the new normal is, because it's not even going to be normal. It's going to be a whole new different. But it's a good thing, because that's what we need, because the whole way that our societal structure is operating right now is dysfunctional. And it's shown by how people grow up and end up when they become adults. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a very important time. And the only thing that really matters the most is what you got going on in here and in here, because it's a complete mirror. Everything happening to you is a mirror of something going on in you. Everything. Every single thing. So with that, what do we do? What do we do with that information? You're like, okay, I have all of this apparent responsibility for the end result of the human collective for humanity in the future. Great. So what do you do with it? Meditation, obviously. This is why we're here, is a life transforming practice if you really dedicate yourself to it. And you won't really know exactly in which way unless you try it, because it's indescribable. Because who you really are is beyond your body, beyond your thoughts, beyond your physical sensations and feelings. The true you that is eternal doesn't even really have a name. Weird, right? And that is the aspect of ourselves that we need to tap into right here and right now the most, because our spirit is love. Who we really are deep down, underneath all of this stupid, pretending to be this body for a little while, deep down, all of that conditional, simulated sim game, you're just love underneath all of it. So when we sit in meditation, we're inviting our spirit to come into our bodies again and reconnect with our true power and realize how much of a fucking god you are, and a goddess, truly. You are a demigod because you are half God, half man. And everyone is that, but you can only really work in the power when you are fully aware of it. Does that make sense? Like, if you're not aware of how divinely fucking powerful you are, then you can't use the power, right? And once you start using it, oh my gosh, good luck ever trying to give it up, because it feels nice. Trust me, I know. So, with that, it's so important. Like, there's nothing more important in this time right now. I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, but Corona, there's all these external events that people think, oh, this is what needs my attention. All of these things happening outside of me are obviously what I need to be, giving my time. No. That's what the Matrix wants you to think, though. Because when you're too busy focusing and obsessing about all the stuff outside of you, they know that, thank you, you're definitely not in your power. They've got you by the throat. Ha! So no, be the bad bitch and start thinking for yourself. Start just getting out in nature and hearing the birds sing and just listening to the wind, and just get yourself back to the earth. I promise you, it will be the most surreal experience. And then you'll join me in the new earth. Won't that be fun? I hope to see you there. I know I'll be there. Okay, so with that, I just wanted to share that. I don't know why. It's time to become the antidote, because if you don't, then you're part of the problem. You're the disease. Whoop. What's the opposite of the word antidote? Like the exact opposite, like the poison? Yeah. I think so. You can either be poison or the antidote. Poison is living in fear and letting external events change your internal perception, right? Being easily influenced by external events and commentary and, people just putting seeds of fear in your mind that are just going to grow weeds in your head and make you miserable. So when you are the antidote and you're choosing love, you're finally just stepping out of that crazy, not even real, but it seems real type of reality, and being able to see it from a completely separated point of view and a 360 view of it, and you're like, it's a whole new perspective. And when you can do that is when you can make the conscious decision to, I see how this is definitely not serving me. I'm going to start moving in the direction of love instead and see where that takes me. And I can promise you that your entire life will start shifting dramatically in just a matter of days. So, with that being said, let's become the antidote. How do we do this? Just sit with yourself. And depending on where you are, everyone's going to be in a different space. Sit with how you feel. And I would like you to you could even write it down in the comments, actually, if you'd like. If you could just sit here and think, what is the one emotion that I feel the most right now? In this moment. Just not even trying to shift your perspective or how you feel at all. Just really notice how you're experiencing your reality through your emotional sense perceptions right now. So for me, if I were to ask that, that would be emotion. Probably what's that good? I don't know. That's so boring. Probably just happy. Just very content. I don't know if that's an emotion though. Content. I feel very, very content. When I'm doing stuff like this is probably my favorite thing to ever do, is just talk about meditation and the power of it. So there's no place I'd rather be right now. So yeah, I'm happy. So depending on where you are, depending on if your emotion is more on the negative side on the scale or on the positive scale, with that, you just want to accept that and just be like, okay, this is where I'm at. And then you want to think about, where would you like to be? If you could be anywhere. Really close your eyes for a moment. And the more you get into meditation, the more your mind will actually allow you to explore these ideas in a more exciting and thrilling way, like how we used to when we were children. But just give it a try now, even if it's your first time. Just close your eyes and really see what comes up when you ask the question, from where I am now, what would I like to have that I maybe don't have? What would I like to have more of? Maybe see yourself 5 years from now, or a year from now, 2 years. It could be super young. Just intuitively go through it yourself. You know what the best experience for you is, and see what pops up. We come into this world, we already have all the desires. We've been programmed to desire certain things through our astrological birth chart. Depending on the kind of things that, the time we were born, when we came into this physical earth, we have a literal blueprint as far as the things that we're going to be naturally interested in and naturally have talents in, and gifts and weaknesses and things we're not super great at, which is okay. We have all of these gifts inside of us before we even recognize that we have them, before we even discover them, before we do have them inside of us. The seed of them is still there. So when you just sit here and you relax and you let all of the mental gunk that's always playing in the back of your mind kind of just slow down a little bit, you just start getting all these images of things that feel like they're being implanted into your head. They're not even really your doing. It's like some kind of angel is coming down and just like, whoop, I'm just gonna plant this little seed right here. And then all of a sudden you see these beautiful visions of yourself, and it could be you in the future, and it's so clear, and you see yourself and it looks like it's reality happening, and you're having a literal vision, like it's a true thing. It's visioning, and it's you connecting to your spirit, and your spirit giving you a little, kind of like a trailer, a little teaser trailer of what your life could be like if you continue to follow your heart. Truly, I'm not making this shit up. I know I sound crazy. Give it a try. Just sit here and ask a simple question. From where I am now, what do I want? What would I like to see in the future? Where would I like to be? What kind of work would I like to be doing? What would be the most fulfilling way for me to experience this physical reality in this form during this time? And if you feel brave enough and you know what that is, you can comment it below. That would be fun. So I'm going to do that right now for me. Okay? We're just going to sit here and see what comes up. From where I am now, what would I like more of? What would I like to see? And if you're having somewhat of a hard time just letting your thoughts settle, sometimes I just like to repeat, like literally repeat the words, I'm listening. I'm listening. Every so often. It gets you in the mental state. Instead of, being the listener of your thoughts all the time, you're actually kind of leaving a lot of open space in your mind to hear something. Like when you think like, did you hear that? You have this moment of complete pause in your mind because you're just like, You're waiting to hear something. That's the kind of feel we want to have with that. We're waiting for a message to be sent to us from our angels. And it could be the smallest thing. It could literally be just like an object, and you're like, what is this? Why did this strange object come into my mind? Like, just trust it. Whatever comes. From where I am, what I like to see. And really just let your mind play. Like right now, I see myself, and I'm sitting down, and I'm in meditation. Like really deep meditation though, and I'm with a group of people, and we all feel so connected to each other, and we love each other so much, and we have this incredible, very spiritual and authentic bond between all of us individually in different ways, and it just feels like a super healthy, happy community of people really working on themselves and working to contribute and bring their gifts to the table, and all of us just fucking live in harmony together and conquer the world. But there's nothing to even conquer, because we are living with the world, so we don't even have to conquer it. There's nothing to conquer, because there's no war anymore. Oh my gosh, how beautiful. So yeah, when you just let your mind go on like a crazy tangent, like if you just sit there and you have like a strange image of a scenario going on in your head, don't just be like, what the heck? Kind of be like, what next? What happens next? It's like a choose your own adventure. How fun. So whatever has come up, just notice it and be like, that gave me, these past couple of days, I've been doing this practice, and that vision that keeps coming to me gets clearer and clearer every time I do it. It's always kind of the same thing, too, when I go into it, which is funny. And I think I'm understanding is what is really happening is I am becoming one step ahead. Instead of, being stuck in the past and living in the past, I'm literally actually creating a foundation for the future in my own mind, mentally. I'm mentally making it happen, and that's the way stuff happens. It becomes a thought before it ever becomes, the pursuit of the thought, which becomes the manifestation. But I think that's what it really means to become the antidote, is you're so steady in yourself. You are unmovable. You're basically a magician. You're literally fucking shaping reality with your mind and the future. And so you're not too worried about all the other bullshit going on externally in the world, because that's a reflection of other people's state of being in fear. Right? And that is your power. And if you do this, and if you commit to every single day meditating like this, becoming the antidote, your external reality is going to start reflecting that inner God inside of you, and reflecting the same thing back. Like, you'll get messages from your external reality that, yes, indeed, you are the creator of your reality. And it's crazy. You'll be mirrored. Everything starts mirroring you. It always is. But it's usually stuff that you don't want to see or hear. And so you're like, no, this isn't me. You blame it on other people because it's them, right? So if anything just came up right there, that might have been your first experience really having that kind of vision experience. And do what you will with it. When you think about it, notice how it makes you feel. When I thought about my thing, literally it just feels like my heart is just like bursting with palpable joy. And it's in alignment with what I know is what's best for me. And that's how to be the antidote. To live in alignment with what you know is best for you. Honestly, that's as simple as it is. And through this meditation practice is where we really start to figure out what the fuck that really is. What even is that? Most people have long forgotten about dreaming, about getting something they want, or having a desire fulfilled long ago. They've accepted a reality in which horrible things just happen to them, and there's nothing they can do about it. So many people are literally operating from that type of programming. And it's not a reality you have to live in at all. At all, bro. But you gotta do the work. You gotta stop blaming other people, because once you blame it on other people, then yeah, you don't have control. Because it's not up to you anymore. So, it really all comes down to if you're ready to take responsibility for yourself. Are you ready to take responsibility for yourself? What did your vision tell you? My vision made it very, very clear that I do not belong in a 9-to-5 job, even though I have a lot of people telling me that that's what I should be doing all the time. That is not where I belong. I know that it won't be in my best interest if I do that. But if I did, just because I had external factors telling me that it would be the right decision to make, I would be making a decision out of fear and eventually being very, very miserable. On the other side of that, it can be difficult to stay in your power and to choose authenticity, because yeah, there will be a lot of external conflict and people who don't agree with you, and that's gonna be, honestly, that's the hardest part. The hardest part is just dealing with the response of other people thinking that they have a better idea of what you should be doing with your own life. As if, right? And that's it. So just let go of that and be like, only I do. Only I do. And I have to focus on this vision. I can't let your clouded opinions have any kind of space in what's going on in here at all. You have to be focused. You have to take responsibility for yourself and everything that has happened to you from this point forward, and be like, okay, from this moment now, in this present moment, I am consciously choosing to think, act, and behave in ways that are in alignment with what I know is best for me. Easier said than done, I know, but that is how to become the antidote. So I just thought I'd share that. Anyway, what came into your vision? I would really, if you had a vision of something, that is your truth. Like, hold that very, very near and dear to you, whatever came to your mind, because your soul, your inner being, will only give you information that will serve you. And it's so amazing. And if you had a vision and it was something that you realized is not currently anything like what you're doing right now, that right there is your sign right there. That is your shadow work. You basically just like discovered that there's a certain thing that you're doing in your life right now that is not helping you. And it's, if it doesn't change, you will suffer immensely. That's the gift of meditation, though. It helps us become aware of the things that we do need to change if we want to be happy and live life to the fullest. Holy cow. I don't even think I have really dipped my toe into the exhilarating sensations that happen when you really start becoming a creator instead of a consumer. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense? I don't know. I kind of just show up here and just start blabbing. I kind of just like talking alone because nobody else can interrupt me. So true. But anyway, this is a crazy, crazy time. Every single thought that you're thinking is going out into the world. Every single thing you've ever thought has gone into the world. And the only power we have is right here, right now. This is the only moment that really exists, you guys. This isn't really a meditation, honestly. I'm realizing I'm just talking, but it felt important to share anyway. So maybe we can just kind of have a little bit of more moments after I'm done blabbing, so we can just kind of sit in stillness together for a moment and maybe see if we can bring up more into our vision. But it is a very extremely, like, the best way that I can describe this, honestly, I think I heard somebody else say it too, so it's easier to kind of remember, but whatever it is that you're experiencing now, right here, right now, obviously, if you move more towards the direction of love, then you're going to move towards it in fear. But depending on where you are now, if you don't change anything, if nothing changes, how you're feeling right now will be exasperated by like 200%. So, with that, think, do I really want to be experiencing this right here, right now? To a triple degree or a double? And if not, then just start small. You don't even have to shift anything. Meditation is becoming aware. Finally, instead of denying something, it's finally being like, okay, I'm going to look at it actually and see it for everything that it really is. Warts and all. So, I'd highly recommend doing some kind of meditational practice in the morning, honestly. It's changed my whole life. Literally, I wish I could tell you in what way. It's so funny how there's no way I can describe it to you. But yes, just become aware. If you're in a negative space, don't beat yourself up, because that in itself is still harming you. Your work now during this time, if you find yourself in a state of mind that you would rather not be in, is to just get to know that part of yourself as if it was a separate entity. Really ask it questions and get to know it and get to the core belief that is rooted in that negative self-talk. And once you can do that, that's when you can start inviting the love to start coming through. Because you see the reality of it. And you see it from a completely different perspective. Completely. And it does take time. So just be patient with yourself. There's really, the only thing that you can do wrong is choose to stay in your pit of mud if you're in it. But you can choose that. You can make that conscious decision. It's your choice to make. And it's going to affect a lot of people. The conditions of the world happening right now are literally just a reflection of the human consciousness. Collectively, you think about the world, there's a top thought. The thought that every single human being on this planet Earth has thought the most, all of us together, that is the collective thought. What do you think that thought is? All of us have a collective consciousness, which is the consciousness that the majority of the human race is experiencing. And I would say that about It's probably a 50-50. Honestly, it's probably a good 50-50 split between the people who are completely fucked up in their fear, like they're probably not going to make it through the next COVID. And the other 50 is the people who are like dedicating. They are the light workers of the world. They are the indigo children. The people who came into this world at this specific time, specifically to be the leaders and be the forefront of the new earth, leaving all the shitbags behind. Just kidding. Leaving all the people who are trapped in fear. You can't move if you're in fear. There's no movement. There's none. You gotta move forward. It's the new earth, bitch. It's gonna be fantastic. And I hope to see you there, because it's gonna be so much fun, guys. Come on. There's gonna be music. Vegan cookies. So yeah. I don't know. I'm just here. I think now I don't even know what to say. Honestly, I'm just living here. So let's just sit here together. And maybe you've never done this before ever in your life. If that's the case, then I want you to put your hands together with me. Bow them down. I don't care. If you're religious, you can act like you're talking to God or something. But if you're, you could just sit here and have an intention with yourself. Your mind is very, very powerful. Your thoughts. Inviting, really saying something that is welcoming a certain experience or something to come in opens your heart. So right here, right now, as we're here, set an intention to say, if you feel inspired to, you can say, I choose from this point forward with my free will to consciously think, behave, and act from a space of love and to only do what feels right for me. And I am open and willing to see the reality. I'm open and willing to see the reality. And with that, I know I can make very powerful decisions. And it's my choice. Every single choice is either fear or love based. So right here, right now, I am willingly allowing myself to fully embody the aspect of myself that is always making choices that I know is best for me. It's not a question. I always do I never make a decision or allow myself to think things that I know are not really serving me for the new earth. It's not contributing to the overall growth of humanity, right? So, I am open to stepping into my power, my goddess energy. Awesome. Cool sauce. You can say whatever the heck you want. Honestly, that's just what came to me in my mind. So powerful. We are some powerful fucking people. All right. Let's just sit here, honestly. Let's give ourselves maybe 5 good minutes of us just sitting here and really relishing and maybe seeing if any other visions will come to the mind. Playing with it. Okay? Take a nice deep breath in. Notice if there's any tension in your body anywhere and just invite it to soften. The sentence, "be the change you want to see in the world," has been very prominent. So even that, I feel like, is a perfect question when you want to tap into your soul and start receiving some divine guidance and visioning, is to just ask, what is the kind of change I would like to see in the world? You know what it is that irks you the most. You could go all day about that, huh? So just really ask, what does the change in this world that I want to see, what would that look like? What would that look like to me? And just let yourself feel it. See what kind of stuff comes up. The funniest stuff can come up, and you can just start laughing at yourself. You're like, oh my gosh. What is the change in the world that you would like to see? Think of the most horrible thing you've ever seen and ask, what's the exact opposite of this? Or just think about what you want. So powerful. It feels amazing. What kind of changes in myself would I like to see? What kind of changes in my family would I like to see? What kind of changes in the social media content would I like to see? There's no limit. You could go on and on. And the more you do it, the more easy it is to just pick it back up and be like, oh yeah. And it feels like you have like a draft. Like an Instagram draft. Like you're working on it, but it hasn't been posted quite yet, but you're working on it. It's in the drafts. And it's beautiful. It's still beautiful. It's art. It's just in the drafts, but it's still so gorgeous. And it's the vision of what I know it will become once it's ready to be uploaded. So funny. This whole reality is like a fucking computer program, but whatever. You didn't hear me say that. Alright, y'all. Alright. This was beautiful.